Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Here we go. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. If you're unable to get a hold of anybody on your cell phone today, there's good reason for that. Apparently, we've had an AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon cellular outage in the United States.
Those are just the companies we know about right now.
Yeah, there's others, too, they said. Other networks are having problems this morning. Sounds like a hacking incident to me.
Sure does.
Everybody down at once like that? Unless it's the sun, and I don't know of any super solar activity that's going on right now, but maybe. I mean, there has been some activity in the last few months. Maybe this is, I don't know.
Or maybe it's day zero.
Or maybe. Who knows?
Chris, what's this video that, do we have this that you just saw online of a guy?
Yes, this is a guy pointing out how much cyber attack when the
so maybe it's not the sun, huh?
And as you can see, this is the blue line. This is the bot cyber attack, and it's coming from
China
to the United States. So he says, coincidence? I don't know.
Doubt it. Wow.
So that's his theory that, hey, look, cell phones are down, and it's a lot of activity of China attacking the U.S. Cyber. Okay. Cool. Well, have a good day, y'all. I hope it's the first of many good days to come.
And by the way, according to this website, America is the number 2 most attacked cyberly.
Who's number 1?
Russia.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's probably because we're attacking.
We go back and forth. Yeah.
Wow. Huh. All right. Well, I don't know. I didn't even look to see if my cell phone had.
Hang on. Time out.
Let me just go ahead and see.
That's fun.
Let's just see. If because Keith might need to get a hold of me right now.
Yeah, call me.
So I don't know. I got all my bars. I have all mine.
Oh, you have all your bars?
So let me just real quick explain something. Before you came in here, Chris and I were just now experimenting. And
we were.
We had our.
Did it work?
That's what I'm explaining. He was on the Wi-Fi and I was not, and so my call didn't go through. When I switched to Wi-Fi calling,
then it did.
So if you have Wi-Fi available, that might be an alternative route for you today.
And if you have an iPhone, all you have to do is turn on your Wi-Fi calling. Then you can get a hold of your people.
Does that cost extra?
No.
Oh, okay.
You just have to make sure that the people that you're calling are on Wi-Fi.
What about long distance rates? What if I'm calling somebody out of town?
Contact your provider.
Oh, okay.
And they might tell you how much is the long distance.
Will they waive it? Or can I just make collect calls all day? Maybe I start making collect calls today.
Well, it's helpful if you have a calling card.
Calling card.
Calling card.
Got to keep that on you at all times. You never know when an emergency might happen.
Those newfangled things I don't have yet. I usually wait until way down the road before I get these, like you call it, calling card type things. All right. We got some good news from Joe Biden. He is continuing, first of all, to absolutely just ignore the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, and is giving out another student loan debt forgiveness program. We'll tell you about that coming up. But first, here's the fearless leader, brain dead Biden, on jobs.
And the economy is growing.
Don't whisper.
It's growing.
Don't.
Jobs, income, across the board.
Across the board.
We have the most advanced economy of any major nation in the world.
Man.
He was in creep mode yesterday for sure.
Yeah. He loves that whisper thing. Mm-hmm. Well, he loves everything that infuriate us. And so he does it all the time.
Yeah.
Does it all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Here's Biden on our paychecks.
Okay.
My dad used to say, Joey, a paycheck is about more than a job is about more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity.
A paycheck is a job is a paycheck.
Yeah, the meds weren't doing their best yesterday.
He can't. I'm excited, kind of, about the State of the Union address because they're putting a lot of hope and a lot of optimistic plans for the future into the State of the Union address to turn everything around for him and show America once and for all, this is all a made-up right-wing conspiracy. Look at this guy. He's brilliant and powerful and sharp And nobody can keep up with him. He's virile. Here's a montage. Jeffy sent us this yesterday. Is this from all the MRC put this together? It's from all of the media sources who are talking about how great Joe Biden is, how strong he is, how vibrant he is. Well, it's self-explanatory. Here's a look.
If you're concerned about Joe Biden's age, you probably don't know Joe Biden.
Biden is actually in good shape.
Right.
Good shape.
Mentally, he's quite acute.
Any aide who engages with him or reporters, we can see this. The gears of his mind are working.
The right-wing media has so fixated on Biden and Biden purportedly having cognitive issues.
It's not just
silly
making an issue of Biden's age. It's lying. It's saying
lying.
He's senile, saying he's demented, saying he's out of it.
Russian television
has
been filled with speculation about President Biden's age, about his mental state of mind.
That's an issue pushed by right-wing media, but it's not correct.
Yeah, Republicans on the other side have spent 4 years almost kind of weaponizing Biden's age against him. Trump is not that much younger than him.
Biden is just a couple of years older than Donald Trump.
Why so much attention on Biden's age?
Why?
Trump isn't much younger.
This whole vein is really, really unseemly. I mean, ageism.
I'm going to say quite bluntly, there is some ageism going on here.
Yeah, I think there is some ageism going on.
Biden's personal physician wrote that he, quote, remains a healthy, vigorous 80-year-old male.
He is a healthy, vigorous 80-year-old male.
He had a good physical. His doctor says he's vigorous.
The reality is nothing like the dystopian picture that the Republicans are trying to paint of this senile, doddering president, and he's as sharp as a tack.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, there's no evidence of him struggling with his mental acuity. There's no evidence of that. This is completely made up whole cloth by haters on the right. Let me show you some examples of Joe Biden at the top of his game, at the very tippy top.
Dick! President? How are you, pal? Thanks for swearing at me. I tell you what, easy to swear at you. We've got news. Rashid Sunak is now the prime minister. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
What
a stupid son of a bitch. But guess what? We got a lot to do.
What?
You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
Whoa. What?
This woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway. Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys. I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Sure.
Wealthy kids, black kids.
Kids who climb on
Asian
rocks.
Kids. No, I really mean it, but
Tough
think how we
kids.
think about it. I'm
Sissy
sorry
kids.
to take so long, guys, but everyone knows I like kids better than people. I like kids better than people. Everybody knows I like kids better than people.
Look at them.
Now, the very important thing I told my daughter and granddaughters, no serious guys who are 30.
Okay. No what?
No serious guys who are 30.
Okay, just get away from me, old man.
People are waiting for relief.
Uh-huh.
I got them.
There it is.
$1.9 trillion
Can't take it.
so far. They're going to be getting checks in the mail that are consequential this week for childcare. A lot has been happened already. Number one.
A lot has
Number
been
two,
happened.
I'm going to fight like heck.
It's true.
Just remind him, I wrote the bill on the environment. Why would I not be for it? Guess what? Employers can't find workers. I said, yeah, pay them more. This is an employees bargaining chip now.
Guy's so weird. So
What's
bizarre.
happening?
Oh, man.
They're going to have to compete and start paying hard-working people a decent wage.
Hard plan working people?
Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Uh-oh. And oopsie daisies. Oh boy. Oh my. Down he goes. That hurt. That last one hurt. Had to rub his shin afterwards, and he hated having to do that. And then the mandatory salute at the top. Okay. So vigorous.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I think you know how much it means to me.
I think this is the guy.
To have you.
Pause it for a second. Today. Is this the guy that's suing him for the way he was all over his wife?
Boy, I don't know.
Yeah. We had a story about that a while ago, and then I haven't heard another thing about it. But one of these congressmen or senators took real offense to it and is making a deal out of it. Anyway, keep going. Anyway, I've said too much.
And confidence. I've got a lot of thanks to give out here. First and foremost to my perfect wife, Stephanie, my wonderful son, Will, and my daughter, Ava, already mentioned.
Mm-hmm. And you guys can sit in the edge or what, if you I don't want you to have to stand all along, but it's up to you. By the way, he gave me permission to touch him. All right.
Creepy. Pause it again. It was right after he was called out for this and told it was inappropriate. Stop doing this to people, okay? They're uncomfortable with it. It's offensive. It's sick. Leave people alone. First thing he does, starts touching the boy. No, he gave me permission. It's okay if I feel him up. It's all right, because he told me I could. All right, let's see the rest of this. Jeez.
Expand your capacity is through the partnership that we have, the federal and state government, along with local governments. Mm-hmm. This issue is ongoing each year, as we have discussed. It gets worse.
Wiping
it affects
off
real
drool
people.
During the Kamala Harris speech. Has no idea
I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal.
Whose name I don't
Appreciate
know.
it, Mr. Prime Minister.
Pal. Creepiness with kids again. But there's nothing wrong with this guy. Everybody loves him.
No matter what their cost.
Yeah.
2, 10, 12, 15. Whoop, stepping on a...
Oh.
It's black. Anyway.
It's black? Wait, what?
Man, this is boring. Isn't this boring? Charlie, this is boring. Come on.
And checking out. Night. Little CP time. That's great. Oh, somebody comes over to wake him up. So great. Oh, yeah, I need to clap. Is my mask okay? Okay, little interaction between he and another world leader's wife. Won't let go of her hand. Okay. And this is the coat incident with Jill. Finally has to help him on with it. Okay. There we go.
And by the way, I sit on the stand.
Oh no.
And it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.
Right.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
Did they?
So it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
Man, is that creepy.
They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Oh.
And I love kids jumping on my lap.
Where do I go? That way, this way, where? Look out. Somebody catch me, I'm gonna fall. Okay.
By the way, I'm very much worried about this guy's biceps. His biceps are big as my calf. Look at this.
Another one of his routines he loves. Does it all
I don't care
the time.
He's got some real biceps. We call them guns.
All right. What? I'm really turned on by his biceps. And he's lost. Again. Wandering around. Somebody help the guy. Where's Jill? Hello? President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Here he goes again. Is this the shaking hands with the air thing? No idea where he's going, what he's doing. Do I come down? What do I... over
Mr.
there?
President, thank you.
Oh. Somebody spoke.
At the end of such a
Incredible.
momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate.
On the steps we've taken, he said, and I quote, "The combination of private enterprise and government working together has been really successful." He went on to say, "All the way through the supply chain, there's a lot of innovation.
Right.
Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change." End of quote. In the past 3 weeks, the number of containers sitting on docks, we're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains.
Ill-begotten. Pause it right there for a second. We don't spend enough time with that either. His ill-begotten gains. No, it's ill-gotten, stupid. It's ill-gotten, not ill-begotten. All right, let him continue the kleptocracy. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We didn't finish that one? All right.
Of Putin's kleptocracy.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
It's one of my favorites. But there's no evidence of any disintegration or any degradation on the part of his mental acuity. It's just a completely wholly made up rhetoric from the right. And it's despicable of them. It really is. It's got to stop. And we just proved it right there. Elections in Taiwan, North Korea, everything on the brink right now. Iran is increasing its aggression. There's just a lot of global instability right now. As we head into the real meat of primary season, we've got South Carolina this weekend. We have Super Tuesday, March 5th, I believe. Early voting's begun already in Texas and probably many other places. So how are you sheltering your savings and investments from potential major setbacks to the country and the economy? It's not too late to diversify an old IRA or 401k into gold. And Birch Gold Group can help you do that. As opposed to many other investments, gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and it's an important part of you diversifying your savings. You don't want to put everything in gold, but, a portion of it. 10%, 20%, whatever you decide is right for you, Birch Gold will help you do this. And they'll turn an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. And that doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. All you have to do is text PAT to 989898. They'll send you a free info kit. Go through that, see if you like it, and if it's something that can help you for the future. Birch Gold is a great company. They've got a AAA rating, A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They've got countless 5-star reviews and thousands of happy customers. So I encourage you to arm yourself with the knowledge you need to diversify your retirement accounts. Text PAT to 989898. Claim your free info kit and protect your savings with gold today.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
I told you at the start of the show that he has defied the Supreme Court ruling again.
Yeah, he bragged about it again yesterday.
My gosh.
Yeah, I think the quote was something along the lines of, "Hey, the Supreme Court blocked me, but that didn't stop me." Something he said before. Like he's proud of being lawless. Yeah.
I didn't hear him say that part. That's so amazing. Yep. He's bragging about becoming a dictator.
Yes. And
seizing all the power for himself and ignoring the checks and balances that have been put in place by our founders. Okay. So he said yesterday that they're automatically forgiving $1.2 billion in student debt. So that's another 153,000 borrowers. Man, if you paid off your student debt before this madness started, how pissed off are you right now?
I can't believe we don't have anarchy after stuff like this happens.
I know, the unfairness of it. And they're talking about fairness all the time. Fairness, equity, inclusion. Really? Why not include all the people? Let's just pay back everybody who paid their student loan. How dumb were they?
Boy. What is the incentive to do right anymore?
They're removing it completely. And that's really the point.
I mean, that was... And we've been through this before with mortgage payments, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have.
I mean, there's been bailouts forever in the last couple decades.
So this is just the latest push from the White House to address the nation's $1.77 trillion in student debt. After the Supreme Court, of course, last year invalidated this plan.
So basically what he's doing is adding to our debt as a nation, really.
Yeah, he really is.
Because we're paying this off.
He really is. So what steps do you have to take?
Ooh, tell me.
To take advantage of this?
I bet it's really tough.
Oh, yeah, it's really complicated. Well,
paperwork and stuff?
No, it's not that complicated.
A lot of
you don't have to
waiting
do
on hold?
anything.
Nothing.
You don't do anything. It's just automatically done for you.
Yeah, you check your inbox today, and if there's an email from Joe Biden, congratulations, you're a winner.
Jeez. It's just incredible. People receiving a loan discharge will get an email from Biden about their loan forgiveness and don't need to take any further action. It's just a gift from us who pay taxes to you who don't want to pay your student loan. And I don't blame you for not wanting to pay. Who does? Who wants to pay any of it? I don't want to keep paying on my house. But that debt is not going to be forgiven. So, anyway, servicers will process the forgiveness in the next few days. Borrowers will see their loans forgiven in their account. Nice. It's just that easy. Yeah. Just with a magic wave of the wand, everything's fine.
And to your point, Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt tweeted out a response to this yesterday. He was quite vociferous on his Twitter account.
Okay.
If we could see that tweet of Eric Schmidt, Missouri Senator, railing about Biden's bailout.
And it looked a little something like this.
Okay, it's right there.
It's a student loan tweet?
Right,
is that what it is?
It's right there.
Okay.
If you want to just read it since
sure.
It's not going to be on the old board.
Let me get out my wife's...
Oh, got to get the wife glasses.
Got to get the wife glasses out.
Okay.
Which I guess at this point,
student loan
they're
tweet
just
is
plain mine.
FS3, Joe. FS3.
Student loan bulls today is just another example of imperial Biden doing whatever the hell he wants, no matter what the law says. This is, again, from Eric Schmidt.
Yeah, because he used the word. This is student loan BS.
He said bull S, so BS.
U.S. Senator not happy about this.
Yeah, he actually tweeted out the word in full. Mm-hmm. Didn't put those, the star or the exclamation mark or any of that. It's also an insult to those who never took out student loans or those who paid them back and to taxpayers in general. Right. When I was Missouri AG, I filed the case that beat back Biden's previous illegal effort at the Supreme Court. We won, but he's back at it. The Biden administration is totally out of control and lawless. There's nothing they won't do to maintain power, illegal act after illegal act. That's your real threat to democracy. Time to take this country back.
I love how he puts trademark, threat to democracy, trademark.
Jeez, man.
Nice job, Eric Schmidt.
That's good. Here's a flashback of even Nancy Pelosi, who I believe was Speaker of the House at the time,
yes,
wasn't she? Reminding Biden, he can't do this. He can't even do it.
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? Mm-hmm. People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness.
Yeah, that's stupid.
He does not. He can postpone.
Right.
He can delay.
Remember that?
But he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Oh. Wonder how she feels about that today. Do they think that we don't remember anything they've ever said? Or we can't bring up a clip from that time period?
Well, and that she was saying directly to Joe Biden, too.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, which is stunning in of itself.
I know. But it doesn't matter to them because they get away with it. And they just keep doing this. And then even when it's brought up to them that, hey, this is completely different than you thought just 2 years ago. No, it's not. No, it isn't. They'll just lie right to your face. No, I've been saying this forever. It's these Republicans that keep lying. It's the Republicans that are leaving the border wide open. It's Republicans. No matter what the issue, it's always somebody else.
This picking and choosing of what we're going to allow to stand, whether it's a law or it's a social contract like student loans. This isn't sustainable for any society.
No, it's not. No, it really isn't.
And it's quite frankly, it's terrifying because at some point, you would assume people would have enough. But
yeah, something's got to give sometime.
Then you think about it and you're like, no, No, we won't push back. We'll just keep taking it. I mean, after going through COVID and seeing what was demanded of Americans, and they
lied their way through that too.
Gleefully went along with it. There's too many people who followed the arrows on the grocery store floor. In fact,
the one-way aisle situation.
In fact, I tweeted yesterday. If Birx and Fauci had said, if you walk backwards, it will slow the spread, at least half of Americans would have walked backwards in the stores, bumping into stuff. So I have no hope that anybody will actually push back in this country.
Those were good times. I'd almost forgotten about the one-way aisles, that you can only go one way, and then you have to go to the next aisle to go back the other way.
Yeah. And it's a shame you couldn't just, when you entered a restaurant, couldn't just automatically be seated. Maybe if you duck down. Because Yeah,
because you didn't have to wear your mask when you were seated.
Right.
But if you got up to go to the bathroom, put that mask right back on.
Stupid virus. I'm down here, dummy.
Can't find you, though. Can't find you.
But if we're not going to push back during that blatant thieving of our liberties by all levels of government, I'm not going to push back on something like some people get student loans.
And their allies. Wasn't it about people who complained about that kind of thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger said, screw your freedom?
Yes, he did.
It was about that very issue, I believe. Jeez. This is interesting, too. This is something we haven't heard about for a little while. But you remember Commander the dog at the White House, who kept biting people. And I don't know, they turned up another 10 or 11 instances of dog bites from him against Secret Service and other employees at the White House. Well, it continued. It kept going. Nobody talked about it, but things were so bad that at least one White House tour had to be suspended to mop up blood from the floor of the East Wing.
Unreal.
Because the dog, Commander, had bitten somebody so bad that they bled all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
There was another attack where an agent suffered a severe deep wound at Biden's Delaware vacation home, which we didn't hear about until now. So he finally was given away. President gave away Commander the dog. It just became too big a burden. We said there's no reason that this dog should be at the White House. He's a danger. If he's attacking the Secret Service, the people who were tasked with the job of taking care of and protecting the president, then how are they supposed to do their jobs effectively when they're always under attack from that stupid dog?
Yeah, and you said it was 11 documented attacks?
At the beginning, and then it was more.
Yeah, it's 24 total now.
Oh, okay.
What they're saying.
All right.
And it's kind of like the border.
That's not bad.
It's like they're telling us one number, but what's the real number? More than twice as many. Yeah.
Of course.
So,
of course, they finally gave the dog away.
Do we know who they gave him to? I mean, he's qualified to guard like a junkyard.
Yeah, right.
Nice resume. Yeah, I was at the White House. Yeah, cool. Well, here's a chain. You're guarding the junkyard now.
But is it the dog's fault or is it the owner's fault?
No. Keep in mind, there are no bad dogs.
True.
Just bad owners. And that is
what are you insinuating,
obviously
sir?
The case. I'm insinuating that Joe Biden is a bad person and probably responsible for the dog's actions because he's probably mistreated the dog. I'll bet you anything. I mean, these are highly trained. Glenn's gotten German Shepherds like that several times. And they are highly trained animals. You don't just get a German Shepherd from the pound and bring him in to protect the president or to be the companion of the first family.
Wait a minute. I know we've speculated in the past between the election and him being inaugurated. Remember he hurt his foot because he was playing with Commander?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Probably got bit.
That dog was gnawing that leg right off the old man.
But he got bitten. Probably exactly what it was.
Let's get Commander back in the White House.
888-900-3393. More coming up.
Screw your freedom.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
I was going to put him, excuse me.
Yeah, excuse him. He can't get through a sentence, so excuse him if you would, please. We got some tweets here. Not of this world tweets. Watching Mumbles Biden reminds me of when my youngest son was first learning to talk.
Don't throw your son under the bus like that.
KJP's blinker fluid. I just had a vision test. Stop telling me that my eyes aren't seeing what I'm clearly seeing every day. My grandfather had dementia. I know the signs and symptoms. Left-wing media is nothing but state-run media.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Mandalorian Patriot, creepy white guy at the pool, having kids rub on his leg hair. Mm-hmm. That's why Corn Pop was going to kick his ass.
Exactly right.
Think about it.
Yep.
Yeah, the old,
I got hairy legs.
Hairy legs.
That turn.
That turn.
Blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. So it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
Ick.
They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap.
I see. Okay.
And that's the same press conference, if you will, that he discussed Corn Pop being a bad dude. So it's exactly, the two were connected.
No, absolutely. All right.
Corn Pop was a good dude. You're the bad dude, you sick, perverted old man.
Whew. But at least he's got immigration taken care of. Things are really good at the border.
That's good.
The border is secure, as we've heard from Alejandro Mayorkas. Even people like Dr. Phil are concerned about the border situation. When did Dr. Phil, I guess fairly recently in the last few years, the guy's become more political. And as Glenn told us, I think it was yesterday when he stopped by, wasn't it? And he just did a podcast with Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil says things are getting so bad now that he's going to speak out. He's going to speak his mind. And, he's conservative. And so he has been speaking his mind. He went down to the border, and he described that experience on Joe Rogan's show.
These children that are coming in with someone that says, I'm their mother, aunt, uncle, or whatever, we have no way of verifying that.
We do not. We used to. Under President Trump, we had rapid DNA testing. That's been done away with.
Are they given money, these people that are released into the country?
So it's our taxpayers that ultimately facilitate the travel. But yes, travel is facilitated, and they are given all the necessities that they need.
But that could be a trafficker.
There's a very good possibility that they're being trafficked, that they're going into the sex industry, or they're being forced into the sweatshops.
And we know that. We knowingly are spending our tax dollars to sell children into sex trafficking. How, under any theory, is that okay for us to be spending tax dollars to traffic children?
Oh, pretty good question at the end.
Now, this is the head guy on the border. And I asked him when this went on a little more, we went in more depth. You're on camera here, right? You just said we're spending tax dollars to sell children into sex slavery. And he said, yeah. I said, why have you not talked about this? He said, nobody's ever asked me these pointed questions, but I'm grateful that you're asking them now. That's how out of control we are down there. We are paying money to take these children and sell them into sex slavery. They come in with these addresses written on their bodies, written on their arm, and we call up there and say, do you know so-and-so? Yes, we're waiting for them. Okay, they'll be on a plane or a bus, and you need to pick them up. And I asked him, so some pimp or trafficker or whatever is picking them up there, and he said, we are knowingly sending them up there for that. And he said, it's terrible, but that's what's happening.
That's insane. That is insane. And there's no way of verifying if it's their parents they're going to or an aunt they're going to. There's no way of verifying it. And
I asked him, he said no.
Now, what justification could possibly exist where they would stop doing the rapid DNA test? What possible justification would there be to stop that?
It makes no sense because if they find out, well, this isn't their parent, then okay, what are they going to do with the child? And so
Right.
I guess don't ask, and then you don't have the responsibility. But they're sending these children up there, and he's saying we're knowingly sending them into either a sweatshop or the sex industry up there.
Wow. I think one theory could be that they could make the excuse that it's violation of people's privacy. You know, they care about the illegals' privacy, but not ours. We have no right to privacy, but certainly the illegals who took the time to break into our country, certainly they deserve respect and privacy like that.
I mean, and these operations are funded with your tax dollars through these non-government organizations, these NGOs. And yesterday, Ken Paxton, the state attorney general here for Texas, said that he's suing to end NGO operations inside Texas.
Good.
That would be huge.
Yeah, it would. Here's Representative Mike Waltz on deportation.
We may disagree on this, but I just don't see how you can get 7, 8, or 9 people out, 9 million people out of this country. I think they're staying.
President Trump's going to try, but that's the population of Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Vermont that would have to completely be cleaned out, rounded up, and deported. It's just, it is, like I said, it's an industrial size scale problem now, and it's shameful.
It's one of the largest migrations in history.
Yeah. One of the largest? Oh, man. If we knew the actual numbers of how many people need to be deported, it'd be staggering. It's so far beyond 9 million. Come on. We've been using the same figures for 25 years now.
And play this out, though. If you had an administration that actively sought to round people up and send them out of the country because they're unlawfully here, what do you think the left's going to do? We saw what they did at the Supreme Court when Roe v. Wade was being discussed. What do you imagine they're going to do if they start getting wind of mass deportations in this country?
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be madness and chaos and probably civil war. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is a little bit stressed over all of this. I hate to see that, but here she is.
And you mentioned border control. You spoke about our former boss, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. I worked on the last time we had real immigration for him. I was a staffer on his team. I was sent to negotiate with the Republican staffers. Orrin Hatch's staff, Bob Dole's staff. We work with Ted Kennedy,
Boy, they got a lot
Jay
done,
Rockefeller. We all work together.
Good team.
And so I still believe that there can be bipartisan solutions. The institution is capable of it if you get the right people in there. And I'm going to be working to make sure that we have the right people in there.
Oh, wow.
And also,
That's
even before next November's election, when I believe we will pick up the House, the Republicans in the state of New York, and there are 10 of them, they have the power to caucus together, march down to Speaker Johnston's office and say, we demand that you do something about the border, bring it to the floor, and we will support it. Use the power that was been given to you, because we are being so effective. We have 175,000 migrants who came here. They came here for a better life. They came here for a job. But our city and its resources are absolutely overwhelmed. We need a break. I'm working to get people jobs. They're here. I'm going to make them work and get them jobs. But until then, we need some relief at the border. And those Republicans, even in one state like New York, 10 of them can make this happen. And if they don't, this will be a wedge issue, a forceful issue against them this November as well. So I'm putting them on notice.
There we go.
You broke it. You now own it.
The Republican House broke it.
There are no words.
She's fun.
There's no words. Wow, there's so much there. So many lies, so much garbage spilling out of her stupid mouth. It's hard to even know where to begin. She wouldn't even know this was a problem if Greg Abbott hadn't started his program of busing people up there from here. They've got 175,000 people, they say, in New York State.
Ooh.
The number is in the million, probably 10 million in Texas. Texas alone. So don't tell me about your 175,000. We've been dealing with this forever.
Yeah, and the only reason they're stressed is because they don't have enough money to give freebies to illegals.
Yeah.
You've got New York City alone, you get $10,000 if you're an illegal. They don't check your ID. There's no restrictions. There's no way to see if it's fraudulent, this claim. I mean, here's 10 grand. But do you remember when the only person in Congress to stand up to the massive spending during COVID was Congressman Thomas Massie? And I mean, even Trump went after him for objecting to this, all these handouts. Yeah, that money, the COVID handouts that are still sitting around, those are going to illegals at this point. So congratulations on that. They were able to misuse those funds for illegals.
Yeah, and she also mentioned they're just here for a better life. They're just here for their families. They're just good, wonderful people who are just here to help themselves and help us. Are they? Tell that to the New York City cops that are continually being attacked by these people now. Here's yet another attack by illegals.
Again, a confrontation between NYPD officers and migrants is caught on video, this time inside a shelter. It's just the latest in a series of violent encounters. In that video, you can see officers clocked in the head with a book bag, water bottle, and other items while trying to make an arrest. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says they're reviewing what happened, and he again called on Washington for help.
Just here to make a better life, Pat.
This is interesting because the Babylon Bee has uncovered a little something along these lines. They, during a recent press conference, nobody else covered this but the Babylon Bee, apparently, because I haven't heard it. But Mayor Eric Adams, during a recent press conference, announced that he will no longer tolerate these migrant attacks against NYPD officers, warning that further incidents would result in a downgrade in migrant living accommodations from luxurious 5-star hotels to slightly more humble 4-star establishments.
Oh, so you don't want to risk that.
No, you don't.
Keep your hands to yourself.
And he says, the Babylon Bee quotes him saying, we're sending a strong, clear message that we mean business. If you mess with New York's finest, you're going to have a slightly less luxurious stay.
I'll teach him.
Uh-huh. You know what, though? That might be too cruel. It'd be like going from the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills to the Four Seasons. All you can do is really, at this point, hope that's just an idle threat from Mayor Adams, because it's probably unconstitutional. It's cruel and unusual punishment. So I hope we don't see that. The Babylon Bee is worth their weight in gold, aren't they? It's just funny stuff. Because that's what they're doing. They're getting luxurious hotel stays right now. And they still hate us to the point where they're attacking us, flipping us off, acting like they own this place. And we're just all lucky to be here to accommodate them.
They're enriching our culture, though, Pat.
Oh, they are.
When they come here.
Yeah. They brought some more gang culture. I know that.
Oh gosh.
There's a little gang trouble in Los Angeles.
Okay, so this is fun. This is a black guy explaining how, hey, that's our territory. Gangs are our territory in America. This is pretty entertaining here.
We respect territories. So do the Mexican gangs war with the black gangs? Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
How dare
Most
they?
definitely. They don't even war. They dominate us now. It ain't no war. We war with each other, but we won't kill a Mexican. We ain't gonna get it. We ain't gonna get it too deep. We say. So right now, they dominate.
Huh.
People don't want to talk about that, but they taking over hoods, and ain't no retaliation. So they taking over like say whether it be a Crip hood, whether it be they didn't took Pyro hood, a Crip hood. It used to be like Palmer Block Crips. Palmer Block Crips is down Palmer. Now the flats got all Palmer Street in there, and they got and all this. You understand me? Only
I do.
Treetops is getting closed in by Mexicans. But another we'll war against each other.
Wow.
But not with the Mexicans. That when the business of gang activity is being impacted negatively from the mass influx of illegal immigrants.
Now it's too far. You've gone too far.
I mean, that's Americana that you're messing with now.
Right. Now you've gone too far.
You've gone too far.
We can't allow you to take over the Crips and the Bloods territory in Los Angeles. We just can't. That'd be wrong. All right, let me tell you about Jace Medical. when you absolutely positively, is it Jace Medical here? Because that's not what I got. I have real estate agents I trust there. All right, I'll do that one. When you absolutely positively have to buy or sell your home, then you need a great realtor. You need somebody who knows the ropes and who has a great track record and is really successful in the business, so you know that you can trust them to do a good job for you. This is Glenn's company, and he started it about a decade ago because he had some really incompetent realtors when he tried to sell his home in Connecticut. And I think it was a friend of a friend or somebody from church or whatever, and it didn't work out. So he didn't want that to happen to you. And that's why we went out and fully vetted these agents to make sure they're the best in your area. We just hook you up with them, and then the rest is up to the two of you. It's a free service that we provide. We just link you to somebody you probably wouldn't have otherwise known about. Most of these agents are fans of the show, too, so you're going to have things in common when you're looking at homes and doing your open house and all of those things. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com.
Beware. Pat Gray is unleashed.
So we got some illegals in Maryland running from police?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't have enough high-speed car chases on our own. We need to import similar activity here. So that's fun. We got that. We got Matt Gaetz talking about...
gee.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But, and he's talking about...
look at him sideswiping all these cars. My gosh.
Right. So anyway...
so this is working out well.
Yeah, but you made the point that, we have enough crime here.
Yeah.
We're good. We don't need to import it. Next thing you're going to tell me is they're taking over gang territory in South Central.
No, because that's when we put our foot down. No, we can't have that. That will not stand. All right? 888-900-3393. Donald Trump has apparently mentioned 6 potential VP running mates. We'll tell you about that and a lot more coming up.
I'm your nightmare.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With a few tweets to share, one more mom tweets, "There are no bad dogs? What about bad chickens? I have rehomed a few of those." Are there bad chickens?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Producer
bad
Chris
chickens.
has chickens, and there are bad chickens.
There are bad chickens,
Not just bad people who own them.
No, they're just...
They come bad.
They come bad. Now...
They're hatched bad.
I'm their second owner, so we don't know what the first owner did, right? Because I'm getting them when they're already a teenager.
I see. So, I was just looking up if there's a technical word for a chicken farmer. Maybe we could start calling you that. You're a poultry man, Chris.
And how many do you have, Chris?
Right now, we're down to 10.
Down to 10. Have you had to cull some of the herd there?
Yeah, cold weather, hot weather, cold weather, rainy weather.
That
got two of them sick.
Darn it.
One of them had an egg stuck up his
and then
butt,
one of them
too.
with the egg
that's
stuck
right.
his butt in.
You hate when that happens.
I know.
Poultry man Chris in the house. Welcome back.
How's the family? Baby's okay?
Everybody's
Wife?
good.
Everybody's good now?
Yeah.
Good.
24 hours. We're good. So
from Mr. Sean's X-File, I wonder how many people have been bitten by Joe in the White House.
That's fair.
More than 24.
Oh, that's fair.
Pretty much guarantee that, yeah. Sarah the Roma, everyone has rights in America, but the American citizens. Feels that way, doesn't it?
Feels that way. It is
that way. Trucker Dude 89, at what point can we refuse to pay taxes? I never voted to have my tax dollars used this way. I don't support this at all.
Yeah. That's a question every American must ask themselves. And you first.
Is it better to have been treated the way the colonists were treated when there was taxation without representation, or the way we're treated now despite taxation with representation? I don't know which is worse, frankly.
Representation in name only, though.
Yeah, I know. It's just the corruption is just so prevalent in D.C. that there's nowhere to go with this thing. DM, clearly the Mexican gangs are doing the jobs American gangs just won't do.
That's right. That's right.
So we got that going for us. And they have that going for them in L.A. That's wonderful. Representative Hakeem Jeffries. What is he? The House Minority Leader, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he's the Minority Leader. He says...
He's an election denier, by the way. He still says Trump was illegitimate.
It's incredible. But it's okay because
it's fine, yeah.
He's a Democrat.
You
That's
got
fine.
it. Yep.
Yeah. But he says that Biden has done lots of good, so I'm sure we're going to get an extensive list here of a few of the
I'd like to hear this.
Me too.
In terms of President Biden, he's got an incredible track record of success.
All right.
And we just have to connect that track record of success with his vision for the next 4 years.
Well, give me an
and
idea
make it clear that the things that he has presided over have been extraordinary.
Like everything such as...
Okay. What? There's more to that clip?
But he says Trump wants to be Putin. So
okay.
There's
Let me ask you
that.
something. What do you think Putin has on him, on Trump?
Well,
that's a good question. What does he got?
I actually think that
Money.
Donald Trump views himself as a Putin-esque leader, dictatorial figure.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
He said it.
Yes.
And we should believe him that he wants to go down this road. And that's the problem that we're encountering with some of my Republican colleagues, that there's a growing pro-Putin faction in the Republican Party. And it's led by Donald Trump, some other outside figures like Tucker Carlson, and on the inside, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jim Jordan.
Oh, yeah, Jim Jordan, man. He is like...
Big-time Putin guy.
He's a Kremlin hack.
Yeah, for sure.
Jim Jordan. Okay.
And that's all perfectly acceptable. Nobody's going to have any problem with that. That's just fine. Just throw all that out there.
If you don't want to write a blank check to a demonstrably corrupt government in Ukraine, then you must
without any supervision still. Yeah, then you're a big Soviet guy. You want the Soviet Union to get back together. Yeah, we're getting the band back together, the Soviet Union, and we're excited about it. So that's Jim Jordan. You know, I'm sure he says that to his colleagues all the time, all the time. Speaking of Trump, he actually admitted to a short list of at least 6 candidates yesterday during a Fox News town hall.
Is this for Vice
no
President?
Keith Melanak. You're probably on the long list, but they've shortened it since then. Yeah, no Keith Melanak.
Okay.
But the 6 names that he acknowledged are on his list include Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, also Kristi Noem, Tulsi Gabbard, and Byron Donalds. That's a pretty good list.
Sure is.
I don't think I'd be upset with any of those. Anyway, Laura Ingraham asked him, are they all on your short list? And Trump said, they are. After going on a brief tangent, he added, honestly, all of those people are good. They're all good. They're all solid. And that's, I think that's true. So, not a bad list right there.
Meanwhile, speaking of Trump, Letitia James, the Attorney General up in New York,
oh my gosh, yes, this is great.
She's terrible. She said that if Trump doesn't pay his fine or whatever his penalty, $335 million, then she'll just
they'll just confiscate his properties.
Yeah, we'll just take those.
Oh, okay. That's a good plan.
What will they be valued at then?
Yeah. You'll just seize control of the Trump Tower? Is that what you're going to do in New York?
But it's Trump who wants to be a Putin-esque dictator.
Exactly.
I can't with these people, man.
I know. And these people are brilliant. Their plans are brilliant. Their track record is brilliant. You look at a state like Oregon, which is run by extreme liberals, and they legalized drugs years ago. What was it, 6 years ago now? It's been a while. 6, 7, 8? I don't know. It's been quite a while. Well, they're starting to have a little bit of buyer's remorse on the whole legalized drug front. Starting to think maybe this wasn't our best idea in history. There's just absolute collapse going on in Portland, especially.
Yeah, these are illicit drugs, and they've been a small amount, like you said, since February 1st, 2021. So 3 years of data now.
Oh, it's just 3 years in Oregon. Yeah. Okay. So, wow, this is happening even quicker than I was thinking. Jeez. So, in recent months, residents, business owners, and law enforcement agents in Oregon have all pointed to the spiraling drug use. Now, this was supposed to shut down drug abuse, right? Because if it's not illicit, if it's out in the open, I guess it'll lose some of its allure or something was the theory, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
In downtowns in Oregon where people openly smoke fentanyl while others lie unconscious in doorways. In small towns where mayors unaccustomed to homelessness are suddenly grappling with encampments. In terrifying newspaper stories about middle-class families grieving teenagers who lost their lives due to one bad pill, they're starting to realize, hey, maybe this wasn't the best idea to lead us to utopia. So lawmakers are now considering a number of bills that would reinstate criminal penalties, like fines and jail time for drug possession. A decision that could come any day now. A coalition led by prominent business owners have threatened to mobilize an effort to hobble the law even more by putting it back to the public in a ballot measure in the fall. Recent polling has shown that more than half of the voters in Oregon support a total repeal of legalized drugs, like marijuana. My gosh, that's incredible.
That is very interesting.
So that happened quickly in Oregon. I would imagine Washington is facing some of the same issues because they're people too, and they tend to be subject to the same sorts of consequences that Oregonians are subject to. But
so I wonder, is this law just like anywhere or just? Because I could almost see that if it was, private in-house use, right? But it seems like this might be possession anywhere.
Yeah, I think it is. I think they're trying to criminalize it again.
I wonder what the gun laws are there.
Oh, I'm sure they're really.
I bet they're more loose with drug laws than gun laws in Oregon as far as the Second Amendment goes.
Yeah, could be.
Huh.
But the consequences, the unintended consequences. Actually, everybody saw these consequences coming, but they went for it anyway because it was supposed to. I don't know how it's going to free up people, and you won't have a lot of drug addicts in prison, and that was one of the main incentives for legalizing drugs. They're tired of putting people in jail for it, and there probably are alternate ways to deal with the problems. Like getting people help, putting them into rehab and clinics. And maybe they could look at something like that. But decriminalizing it and making it legal has not helped. Has not helped the situation at all. All right. In Alabama, there's the embryo ruling. How do you feel about that? Where they've ruled, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that embryos are children. Interesting.
This is wild, man.
I'm as pro-life as I think you can get. I'm not sure embryos are children. Frozen embryos are children. And critics are saying the impact of that could be devastating. In a first-of-its-kind ruling, Alabama's Supreme Court said frozen embryos are children. Now, fertilized in the womb, okay, I can go with you there. But not fertilized, frozen embryos in the, outside of the woman or man, who's ever giving birth. I mean, who am I? Who am I to say? But those who destroy those could be held liable for wrongful death. Wow. So that's pretty interesting. The Alabama ruling was released Friday. It stems from 2 lawsuits filed by 3 sets of parents who underwent in vitro fertilization procedures to have babies and then opted to have the remaining embryos frozen. Okay, so they did fertilize some of them, but they froze the rest of them. and it was those non-fertilized embryos that were ruled on for being children. The parents allege in December 2020, a patient at the Mobile hospital where the frozen embryos were being stored walked into the fertility clinic through an unsecured doorway and removed several embryos from the cryogenic nursery. The patient's hand was freeze-burned by the extremely low temperatures the embryos were stored in, and the patient dropped them on the floor, killing them, according to the ruling. Killed the unfertilized embryos. The parents sued for wrongful death, but a trial court dismissed their claims, finding the cryopreserved in vitro embryos involved in this case do not fit the definition of a person or child. But in the stunning reversal last week, the state Supreme Court disagreed. Interesting. Noting that unborn children located outside of a biological uterus at the time they're killed are children, and they're covered under the state's wrongful death of a minor law. Wow, that's an interesting case. Wow. That would take some serious wisdom and thinking about, which I don't know that I'm capable of ruling in that case. I'm glad it's not me. But obviously that's no doubt going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court to be decided.
Yeah, one IVF clinic in Alabama is already shut down, to my understanding, just not even want to messing with this. So
I kind of don't blame them. That's a tough one. All right, let me tell you about the Jace case. If we ever get drug shortage, wait, we've already gotten drug shortages. So this doesn't have to be a hypothetical down the road kind of thing. Drug shortages continue to hit record highs, and that's causing severe disruptions in medical treatment, delays and cancellations, and unfortunately, rationing. Doctors are having to decide, all right, who needs this the most, and we'll give it to that person.
I didn't believe that until I went to the doctor's 2 days ago.
Yeah?
He told me that.
Really?
I was like,
about
no
rationing?
way. Yes.
Man.
Because we're giving prescriptions to the priority cases. And I'm like, okay.
All right. Whatever.
Okay. So I guess I could die.
Doesn't seem good. Yesterday, I got a call from my pharmacy.
Uh-oh.
And the pharmacist said, yeah, we don't have any supply of what you need here. Sorry. It's on back order delay. Oh. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll give you a call when, if and when it arrives. So, I mean, we are really going through it right now. That's why you need the Jace case. So you don't have to ration care. You don't have to wait. The Jace case is working to expand their medication offerings, too. They've got not just the antibiotics like amoxicillin. They also have ivermectin in case you feel like you want to ward off COVID-19, or you get it and you quickly start taking the ivermectin to knock it out. Plus, you could buy a gift card for your family or loved ones so that they can get a Jace case of their own, and they can personalize it too. Everybody should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected or the expected, whatever it is. Again, if you're going out of town and you're not near your doctor or your pharmacy, this is a great way to go if you get sick on vacation. Go to jacemedical.com today. Enter the promo code PAT at checkout. Get a discount on your order. Promo code PAT at jacemedical.com.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Some tweets here. Aloha, the spirit of small talk tweets. The end is near when the replacement theory is coming for gangs.
Yeah, tough times in America.
First hat, the official term for Chris is chicken tender. Yeah, because he tends chicken.
I like that.
I like that better.
That's
yes.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. From Squatching Duck, secondhand chickens. That sounded good.
It did.
Yeah.
It's a great band.
And why do you do secondhand?
Because I don't hatch them, right? So I just buy them already hatched, and they're teenagers. They're about 3 to 6 months old already.
Okay.
They only last about 3 to 4 years. So.
Oh, wow. That's a short lifespan.
Yeah. Well, when you're working eggs, all year round, your body takes a toll.
I guess so. The Steve 42. If liberalism is a mental disorder, leftism is a total psychotic break from reality. I think that's safe to say. Total psychotic break from reality.
I don't know.
No, not the same.
Think
No,
that works.
Homer wouldn't go for that.
No.
Okay. V Dutch Mermaid. If they seize Trump Tower, they can kick out everyone and house the illegals.
Oh, that's probably their plan.
Yeah. What do you got? About 100 stories too, 90 stories, something around there to house illegals. That should fill up like 50,000 people or so. That'd be great.
El Trumpo Tower.
Nancy's vodka-soaked dentures. Foreigner has a better chance at a VP nomination than getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, wow. That
digs deep.
That does. That hurts. That one hurts. They got the nomination at least. So my work is done. Now the rest is up to them. Okay? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Foreigner, who was the other one we really liked that was nominated this year? I think for the first time. I can't remember.
You're a big Oasis fan.
Big. Oh, my gosh, yes. Oasis. They are one of the nominees. But there was somebody else really good, though. And right now, I can't remember who it is.
Lenny Kravitz was nominated.
Kravitz. I like Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, that's a good nomination. But that's still not the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
All right. So Boeing is going through some things right now. I don't know if you're aware of that, but apparently there was a busted wing on a flight again.
Yesterday, yeah.
And the lady found it.
Look at that.
Yeah, she watched it get destroyed. It was wild.
So this happened in flight?
Yes.
Wow.
That would concern me.
And they got it down anyway, safely, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Didn't hear of a plane crash, so wow.
So as that's going on,
how scared would you be if you're on that flight?
Yeah, and as that is happening, we had breaking news out of Boeing.
The Boeing's 737 program, the head of Boeing's 737 program, stepping down.
Yeah, here's a box.
Stepping down.
That's your head on.
Yeah.
We lost him?
We lost him.
Oh, no.
Lost him. Or her. I don't know who the head was, but whoever was the head of Boeing's 737 program, they're gone now. We lost him. Too bad. Because I think that's really premature. I mean, they've had a few problems, yes. But to lose their job over it, come on.
What kind of golden parachute do you think Stanley A. Deal is
You know
gonna
he
get?
has one.
Do you have this? Do you have the? Oh, you don't have the
No,
deal.
I'm just wondering what he'll.
I'll tell you what. We'll give you $5 million if you just go away. It's probably something like that. But I mean, they've gotten to the point where what? You want the wings to stay permanently on the plane?
You want nuts and bolts to stay on?
You want us to put all the bolts into the side of the plane to hold it together? Wow. Okay, if you're going to be that picky, yeah, it's time for me to move on.
I'll quit. I'll leave
I
this
didn't
place.
realize.
Such high standards.
I didn't realize you guys were going to be this anal about it. Jeez. All right.
No one has died yet.
So Stanley A. Deal, the head of the 737 MAX program there at Boeing, he is estimated to be worth $28 million.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he's probably not wondering where his next meal is going to come from.
Right. Let's see.
$28 million, not bad.
Owned shares of stock worth $7 million.
Okay. All right.
Okay. He's earned. I don't understand this one. He's earned basically $500,000 from insider trading and has received compensation worth at least $20 million from Boeing.
So he's admitted to insider trading?
That's what I'm trying to.
That's weird.
I'm just reading this on the fly, and I don't know what they're referring to. There's a hyperlink, and I'll go and check that out. But his salary is $2.5 million.
Oh,
wow!
That's it.
And he's
for just the head of this division.
Wow,
that's not bad.
So yeah, and I don't know what that insider trading thing is. But too bad he's not a congressman, because then he could get away with it legally.
Yeah,
True.
That's right. That's right. Plus, he'd have a lifetime salary, which would be great when you step down as a congressman. Yeah, we're just going to pay you the rest of your life. Don't worry about it. That's great.
So some insider trading is legal? I don't know. I have to. And
I thought that was just for Congress.
It's going to an SEC link, and I tried to absorb a lot of information.
If insider trading is legal, can we start, guys? Because I'm tired of this.
If I knew anybody on the inside, I would. Yeah, as long as it's legal, why not do it?
Yeah.
That's what Nancy Pelosi figures. Isn't that part of the reason that they're as wealthy as they are? I mean, they're deep into the hundreds of millions.
Yeah, and that's how it works.
It's a contract.
Nancy informs Paul what the legislation is about to do.
Paul does the
goes
deal.
and buys the stock. The legislation positively affects the stock. And, magically, they had already purchased it.
Surprise!
Legal in this country.
Crazy.
Why isn't there a backlash with Americans for that?
Because there's not a backlash.
There's so many to pick one.
For anything.
There's so many things that we could push back on en masse and have the moral high ground, yet we choose to go after none of it.
That's right.
That's why it continues, and that's why it escalates, and that's why the magic they pulled with COVID, they're going to do it again with disease X, whatever that is going to end up being.
And they're already working with China on gain-of-function viruses again.
With ducks,
already.
Right? Ducks, we learned yesterday.
Unreal. It's just incredible.
People are insane.
Yeah, and we just don't.
Evil.
We don't get pissed off enough to do anything about it. I will say this about what's going on in the world. Even Europe is starting to reevaluate their continued support for Ukraine. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Also, some climate change things you got to know about. Climate change is killing us. Well, and the planet's getting greener as a result of CO2. So we'll get into that as well. Just some fascinating stats to tell you about. Next on Pat Gray Unleashed.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money.
Unleashed.
Soon NATO will be the 32nd freestanding, have 30 free. While the other nations were formed, the lithium will power components like it's going to be being made in redwood minerals. We're going to be talking about the pandemic. Those who succeed. And Flex is working with Midland's Technical. We need to provide access to preschool for 3- and 4-year-olds so they get the classroom ready to learn. He's tough, he's loyal, he's principled, and he let me. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
That's not only create 3,300 permanent jobs. He's investing $279 billion. Companies across the county. Across the country.
Million.
By the way, the program is still there.
Oh.
Go to anyway.
There's the guy, we're just making stuff up about because he's clearly sharp as a tack. Nobody can keep up with him. He's brilliant. The man, to even have a meeting with him, you got to prepare for like a year before you can sit in the same room and go over things with him.
Well, he's deeply probing. We heard from Alejandro Mayorkas.
Right.
That first clip, I had not heard that.
Oh, really?
You said it's from a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Soon NATO will be the 32nd freestanding, have 32 freestanding.
32. Okay, so
the 32 freestanding.
Okay, they just approved. I think he spilled. Well, whatever. I think that has something to do with he got ahead of himself with
Ukraine. Maybe.
Yeah. Whatever.
Are there 32?
Yeah, that's
NATO
what I was
countries?
looking up here. Yeah, but when he did that, I think there was 31. So he couldn't figure out. Are we at what comes after 31? Is it 32 or 33?
Well, it's hard to tell.
I think he's getting ahead of himself there with Ukraine.
Yeah,
but
it's possible.
And that's one of the things right there, right? It's like the United States of America going back on its word on expanding NATO eastward.
Yes, but if you bring that up, you're pro-Putin.
Oh, I'd shoot.
You love him.
Oh, crap.
You love Putin so much. Why don't you marry him? Why don't you marry him?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Here's a Soviet national anthem just for you, Keith. Congratulations.
Yeah. Sorry. Where's my Ruski cap?
Things are so bad right now that even Europe is reevaluating what they're going to do with Ukraine because as we are fed up with all the money we're sending them, all the military equipment, all the personnel to train, and who knows what we're sending them. Nobody knows. Nobody really knows the full extent of it.
I mean,
frankly.
There's the quote that says it all. Who knows what we are sending them?
Yep. So Europe is asking themselves the same thing right now. How long can we practically sustain such draining financial support for Ukraine? Everybody's asking it because how long is this thing? We're at 2 years now. This is the 2-year anniversary this week. And the EU leaders claim they have spent more than $100 billion funding Ukraine's defense effort. Now, we hit $100 billion a long time ago. They don't admit to that. They admit to, I think, 65, 66 billion or something. That's just in military spending that we've sent them. And another 60 billion, of course, is in the pipeline right now that they're also trying to get approved. The actual number, though, is closer to 200 billion that the United States alone has sent them. And we don't know where any of it's going. They're corrupt, and they spend it as they choose. And so who knows? Who knows what they're doing with it? But everybody's reevaluating right now. And, I feel bad for them. I don't want them to be overrun by Russia. I don't like Putin. I don't like Russia. Their government, at least. I got no beef with their people. But you can't continue this forever. And it's time the world realizes that. Maybe somebody could get them to the peace table and sit the two of them down with a mediator and say, all right, let's get this solved. Okay, let's stop the killing. Let's stop the spending. Let's stop. Can we do that?
Yeah, and of course, 18 months ago, as we learned from the Tucker Putin interview, Ukraine had signed off on a deal and agreed with Russia, had initialed the paperwork and everything, and then Biden sent Boris Johnson over there to say, no, we're going to keep fighting.
Yeah, right.
You sons of bitches. I swear,
man.
They will not stop until America is in a hot war constantly.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're doing their damnedest for it. Energy Secretary of the U.S. has admitted EVS fails at charging stations and charging up the batteries and whatever. Here's what the Energy Secretary had to say yesterday.
And I know there's a lot being done on charging stations as well, which I know is kind of a big factor for a lot of consumers when they look at getting an electric
charging
vehicle.
stations made in America too.
You also want them to be available when you're on the highway and you realize you don't.
Totally.
I mean, you drive an electric vehicle. Yes. Have you had moments where you've been low on power or had to scramble for a charging station?
Absolutely, and this is why, again, the president's in the bipartisan infrastructure law, $7.5 billion to be able to fill in the pockets where you can't charge.
Oh, good. Yeah, because that's the government's responsibility to fill in the pockets for Tesla and Ford and everybody else making electric vehicles. Yeah, let's just help them out there with, 500,000 charging stations at taxpayer expense. Let's just do that.
It's incredible. Granholm's like, of course. Yeah, of course I have issues with a low battery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the, do you want to save the planet or not? I mean, of course. Part of the inconvenience is part of the plan.
I don't have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with that? Of course I've had problems.
Oh, gosh.
That's great.
I could not live like that, man.
Meanwhile, because of global warming, the Earth is getting greener. It is literally getting greener. They're trying to tell us how badly we're doing, that our planet is on the verge of collapse here. It's catastrophic. It's existential. Mm-hmm. Tropical forests are being cut down. Parking lots are replacing bird-filled grasslands. Climate change, fueling forest fires. On the whole, everything is going to hell in a handbasket, right? But despite this destruction,
look at this.
Here's what's actually happening. Scientists keep coming to a weird conclusion. The Earth is growing greener.
Greener.
Not green in the metaphorical, sustainable sense, but in the literal color green sense. As in greenery is growing. As in plants are flourishing. How many times have we said this? CO2 leads to more plant growth. CO2 leads to more food. Food is somewhat important. In the last 4 decades, the extent of green vegetation the amount of leaves in a given area has substantially increased across the planet. According to a number of recent scientific studies based on satellite data, there's actually more green space today, not less. I'll bet they're teaching this fact in school today, aren't they? These results are somewhat counterintuitive. Yeah, unless you know how the Earth functions. In an age of deforestation, you might expect Earth to get browner or more gray as satellites see stumps in place of trees and runways in place of wetlands. So where's all this green coming from? And by the way, the fact is we have more trees on this planet now than we ever have in the past. We have more trees on this planet than there are stars in the sky. They estimate 3 trillion trees on this planet. 3 trillion. So one explanation about where all the greenery is coming from is air pollution. Carbon dioxide is not only a pollutant, it is not a pollutant. They call it that just because the EPA said so. Well, that's asinine. So everything that comes out of your mouth all day long is a pollutant? Jeez. Okay. Carbon dioxide is not only a pollutant, but a fertilizer, a key ingredient in photosynthesis that helps plants grow. Huh. Some farmers inject CO2 into their greenhouses to accelerate plant growth. What?
Yeah, I mean, and that's
what an outrage.
Yeah, I'm not the first to say this, that you are the carbon that they want to eliminate.
Well, right.
And that map is beautiful. I was looking over here while you were reading this story. They've got the group trying to put in the books in the education system in the schools. Mm-hmm. Explains how CO2 is our friend and how plants need it and stuff. And they're trying to make inroads over there, but I couldn't find that. It's fascinating, and it's something that every school should have. Schools have, of course, pornography and stuff like that, but you can't.
But you don't want to tell them that good things come from CO2.
Right.
You don't want that. I mean, that's despicable.
Chris just informs me that 911 is down now nationwide. Is that?
Yeah, across the United States, 911 also is down.
Oh my gosh!
So they're saying,
"Wow!"
And thank you for the listeners for sending me screenshots of their text messages saying, like, Montgomery County saying 911 is down. So please, if you try call from a landline. Who still has a landline?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't.
Do you have a landline?
Do you have a landline, Keith?
Not anymore, no.
No? Yeah.
Yeah. We have one here. That's it.
Yeah.
So, like I said early on in the show, this could be day 0. Maybe this is how it begins.
Yeah, hope not.
Or probably nothing. It's probably just
it's probably fine.
Like, you know what happened? A squirrel probably got electrocuted on a telephone line or something.
That happens.
Yeah, or
that
electrical
happens.
line.
Sure.
That's all.
That's all.
Is the thing.
Well, yeah, you're right. Squirrel.
Right? It's a squirrel.
Yeah,
it's darn squirrels.
Chipmunk.
Well, they'll gnaw on the line, and the next thing you know, millions are without 911 service.
911 services, yeah.
Happens every day. Well, not every day.
Well, not every day.
But it just...
Once a blue moon.
Just happened. Okay. Every year, our culture seems to sink deeper and deeper into the quicksand of hopelessness and despair. Our moral compass no longer automatically points to the true north of truth and goodness, but more to the chaos of sin and doubt. So it's time for the men of this country to rise up and put on the full armor of God so they can be the leaders that he has called them to be and take a stand against the evil forces destroying us. Godly men need to meet together and encourage each other toward love and good deeds, just like it says in Hebrews. And that's what has inspired Jason Whitlock to organize an event called Fearless Army Roll Call 2.0. It's brought to you this year by Preborn, and it's an all-day event in Nashville, Tennessee on June 1st that will bring together these godly men under a united banner of goodness and responsibility. At this conference, you'll hear speeches from Jason and several special guests. So come have your heart and mind filled with messages that God wants you to hear. And share fellowship with your fellow citizens. Go to Fearless Army Roll Call, fearlessarmyrollcall.com, and reserve your spot today.
is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, we're going to talk about D.B. Cooper tomorrow on our Free Speech Friday. Is that what it is?
Free Thinking Friday.
Free Think Friday.
Yeah.
Free Think Friday show. Last Friday of every month, we take on some sort of theory that's circulating. There's a whole bunch of theories on what happened to D.B. Cooper. He is the person that hijacked a plane back in 73, I believe it was, 1973. He hijacked the plane and made it land. Then he got $200,000 delivered to him. Then they took off again, and before they got to their next destination, he parachuted out and has never been heard from again. Got away with it. The only hijacker to ever get away with a hijacking in the United States of America. Are we talking to the guy who did the documentary?
Yes, the one that, because you said, hey, I just watched a documentary on Netflix, and then I saw it, and we'll be talking to the guy who they use as the expert of D.B. Cooper tomorrow.
What's his name? Do you know it right offhand? You don't know it offhand.
No.
Okay. But it should be fascinating. It's a really fun topic. D.B. Cooper was like a folk hero.
Yeah.
He turned out to be, people thought it was cool that he was able to steal $200,000 and get away with it. It's like Jesse James. It's like Bonnie and Clyde. People thought it was cool for a while. So we'll get into that tomorrow.
In which hour is that?
2.
2? Okay. All right.
So I've got to prep for like an hour?
Yeah. Just an hour.
Wow.
Animal videos for an hour, and then Free Think Friday.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, tomorrow's day 1. So,
but I love the animal video so much that I don't know if I'll be able to stop after just an hour.
Oh, we might even have to cancel the
we might have to cancel. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out tomorrow.
Okay.
Google employees are melting down over the word
this is unreal.
Family. Okay.
Did you read that correctly?
Google employees have melted down over the word family.
This is fascinating and so pathetic.
One employee stormed out of the March 2017 presentation after a presenter continued to show unicorn product features which continually use the word family as a synonym for household with children. How dare you do that? That employee posted an extended rant, which was well received by his colleagues, on why linking families to children is offensive, inappropriate, homophobic, and wrong.
Okay. Just exhausted thinking about this.
He wrote, here's what he wrote. This is a diminishing and disrespectful way to speak. If you mean children, say children. We have a perfectly good word for it. Family-friendly, used as a synonym for kid-friendly, means to me, you and yours don't count as a family unless you have children. Oh, shut up. And while kids may often be less aware of it, there are kids without families too, you know.
Oh, gosh, get over yourself.
The use of family as a synonym for with children has a long-standing association with deeply homophobic organizations. This does not mean we should not use the word family to refer to families, but it means we must doggedly insist that family does not imply children.
Someone needs a hobby.
Or a mental health institute.
Or that.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe a padded cell. Even the sense suitable for the whole family, which you might think is unobjectionable, is totally wrong too. It only works if we have advanced shared conception of what the whole family is, and that is almost always used to mean a household with two adults of opposite sex in a romantic sexual relationship with two or more of their own children. If you mean that as a synonym for suitable for all people, stop and notice the extraordinary unlikelihood of such a thought. So suitable for the whole family doesn't mean all people. It means all people in families.
Oh, okay.
I can't even take
right?
it. I can't.
This is a Google employee 7 years ago. Imagine how insane they are now.
Gosh. I mean, this person, I'm sorry, you're mentally ill. You can't work here anymore. Goodbye. Bye-bye. That's just asinine. It's inconceivable. But I keep using that word. I don't think it means what I think it means. Also, Google has apologized after new Gemini AI refused to show pictures or achievements of white people.
Yeah, this is that's a new feature. I know it's on this new phone of mine.
Who was the racist that asked them to do that? That's terrible.
Right.
Wow.
So this is like the new incarnation of Bard.
Okay.
Gemini. And by the way, it sucks.
Does it? You've used it, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't have, like, if I say, hey, Google, and, like, I'll ask for something, it's like, I don't have that capability yet. Well, the last phone I did had that.
Wow.
Moron.
So the latest version of Google's Gemini artificial intelligence will frequently produce images of Black, Native American, and Asian people who, when prompted, show good things and achievements that they've accomplished, but refuses to do the same for white people. My gosh, how have we gotten to this place? We're working to improve these kinds of depictions immediately.
Good.
Gemini's AI image generation does generate a wide range of people, and that's generally a good thing because people around the world use it, but it's missing the mark here, you think? What do you want to bet they did this on purpose? I mean, they've taught it that showing achievements of white people is a racist trait, and so it's not going to do that. I mean, unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. What a world we live in.
Yeah, but you know, we got to see the compare and contrast. The Newsweek headlines recently along these lines. Can we please put those up? Because Newsweek had an opinion piece about Lloyd Austin, Defense Secretary, and says it calls for Defense Secretary Austin to resign or attacks on black success. That was in January.
Okay.
Then a month later, Clarence Thomas is not a black hero. He's an enemy of black people. So there you go. There's Newsweek for you.
There you go. That's why AI is being taught this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a pro-Palestinian protester in Seattle who just declared a homosexual intifada. Activists in Seattle have plastered city property with posters declaring a gay uprising following a march in support of Gaza's ruling government, Hamas. Yes, the same people who would kill them dead just for being homosexual. They are celebrating these people. Protesters with homosexual intifada on them have been widely circulated online, originating from Seattle. The posters also show what appeared to be two men kissing while wearing keffiyehs, headcloths for men typically worn in the Middle East. The men's faces were covered. Well, that's good because otherwise they'd be murdered by Hamas. The signage was put up around downtown Seattle after a pro-Hamas, anti-Israel march and rally. One sign was posted over another that read, "Save Sheikh Jarrah, Free Palestine." Seattle activists have used hashtag Shut It Down for Palestine to promote their protests, which took place on both February 4th and 17th of this year and this particular month. The protests have been promoted by a group called the Party for Socialism and Liberation, who have consistently posted video coverage of the rallies. Oh, good. So we've got Hamas supporters, socialist supporters, and while it's not immediately clear whether the posters are a parody, groups such as Queers for Palestine have received prior news coverage despite unironically presenting what seems to be a contradictory viewpoint about the Middle Eastern conflict. Yeah, because homosexuals are not welcome with Hamas. You know that, right? They're not welcome in Iran. They're not welcome in the Palestinian territories. They're not welcome. This is so unbelievably bizarre. They are murdering homosexuals. They throw them off buildings. They behead them. And these are the people that you are now supporting? How does this happen? How does it make any sense whatsoever? Wow, the death of common sense. Is there ever been better proof of it than what we're seeing almost every day now?
It's painful.
It really is. It's incredible. All right, coming up on overtime today. You know, I'm obviously you've maybe noticed over the past week, a sucker for the clickbait lists online. We've done best rock anthems, best one-hit wonders. Do you remember when BuzzFeed did all those lists back in their heyday? 47 things never to say to your plumber.
Oh, no.
23 absolute taboos when selecting a facial cream. 36 must-see transgender makeout scenes from recent movies.
Ooh,
that kind of stuff. Write that down because you want to go back and revisit that.
Yeah.
Today, we've got 10 good guys who are actually not good guys. This is kind of interesting. Somebody came up with this list, and the people it includes may surprise you. Also, 18 supposed white privilege phrases that just show your white privilege and are just an embarrassment for you. We'll get into that as well. And then see you back here to end the week tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Why are you gay?